Hey guys, Reckoning here, and welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. In the last part, we had a little conversation with Hanako, and she's glad we did. She's happy we hung out with her. And, of course, we saw... Let's see, can I mess up the intro anymore? Alright. We're standing in front of Class 3-2's stall, where they're making, food, and they're kind of understaffed, and Lily's a bit stressed about that. Anyway, let's get to work. I can't really help her with the former, so I guess the only way I can help is by trying to take her mind off our shy mutual friend. Placing the bowl back on the counter, I call up Lily. Hey Lily, don't worry about Hanako. I'll go find her and hang out with her, okay? I can see Lily's relief plainly written across her face. Thanks, Sasao. And if you see anyone from my class, can you tell them to come back here, please? Will do. Have a good one. Make sure you take a break, okay? I will if I can. See you later, Sasao. I'm surprised Kenji hasn't crossed his mind a second time. Because Kenji's in Lily's class. We know this. That's beside the point. I leave Lily in the stall and head out and search for Hanako. In a way, I feel bad for leaving her with the crowds, but even though she was clearly under pressure, I can't help but think that she's enjoying herself. The halls are packed with swaying crowds meandering throughout the festival. If there's one thing I know about Hanako, it's that she's not going to be anywhere near this. And with the students showing their friends and family their dorms, I doubt she'll be there either. Following blind into tuition, I move against the grain of the crowd. Thankfully, the crowd seems to be slightly less festive than the usual festival crowd. I assume this is out of consideration for the student body. As I force my way through the masses, it doesn't take long for them to thin down into nothingness. This is not surprising since I'm standing before the library. Even the most eager of students doesn't bother to show anyone this section of the school. As I enter the library, the noise of the festival fades into a dull background noise, and soon I'm in the reading area at the rear of the room. Behind one of the partition desks, I see the top of a head with straight dark hair catching my eye. Hey Hanako, I had a feeling I'd find you here. The head jumps a little in shock before slowly peeping over the partition. Sal? Hey, Lily's pretty busy, so she sent me to find you. Oh, do you want to sit down? Actually, I'm feeling a little hungry. You just ate! You just ate, Hasao! How are you hungry again? Would you like to get something to eat from one of the stands? I brought some food, so... I shouldn't be surprised, but it was worth a try. Expecting her to go outside today was a long shot. How about we eat in the tea room? Passed by it on the way here, no one was around. We can make some food there and it'll be a little more comfortable. What do you say? Sure, let's go. Hanako closes her book and puts it away with deliberate practice movements. Good to go? Yeah. We walk side by side from the library to the tea room. As expected, there's barely a soul around. If it weren't for the murmurs through the walls, you wouldn't tell that there was a huge festival going on outside. Hanako carries her bag in both hands and focuses on just the floor ahead of her. Every now and again, she seems to break her pace a little and steps in slightly shorter paces. The first time it happened, I gave it no mind, but I soon noticed that she does it on a regular basis. You alright? She stops dead in her tracks. What? I don't know, it looked like you were tripping or something. A pink blush rises into her cheeks as her gaze returns to the floor. It's nothing. When you say nothing like that, people are inspired to ask further questions. For a second, I don't think she's going to answer. Prepared to leave it be, I almost set off walking again when... It's a game. Game? Do you see the floor here? What a bizarre question. The floor looks like just any other floor, covered in those tiles made up from squares of linoleum. Nothing noteworthy. Well, yes. What about it? Sometimes, when there's no one around, I only step on the darker ones. Hanako's voice trails off as our explanation continues, until I can barely hear her voice coming roaring over the silence of the empty hall. Darker ones? Shuffling her feet, Hanako points the toe of her shoe at a tile that is barely a shade darker than the others. Like these ones. Alright, so these ones are no good? I point out to a nearby tile. Yeah, something like that. Oh, I see. You play this game a lot? Hanako shakes her head. Just when the halls are empty? She nods. Well then, no point in stopping. I'm beginning to get really hungry. She nods again, this time with a little more enthusiasm. Well then, let's go. We set off down the hall, and this time I noticed that Hanako's paying a little less attention to the floor. Wonder, just how loony does someone have to be to come up with a game like that? But before I realize what I'm doing, I find myself trying to aim each step so it lands on the correct tiles. I remember doing that when I was real young, like walking through Walmart, like next to the razor section, they would have tiles like that. Had to make long strides to do it though. It's like, oh, the darker tiles are the ones you want to step on. Now that you think about it, it sounds racist. Let's leave that topic now. So yeah, there was white and black tiles, but there was a lot of white ones and not too many black ones. So the game was we stepped on the black ones. Anyway, the noise of the festival is slightly louder inside the teen room, but the breeze coming through the open window makes it worth it. Without thinking, I walk to the windowsill and inhale deeply. I sometimes forget how clean the air is here compared to back home. Would you like some tea? That'd be great, thanks. It occurs to me that this is the first time I've been alone with Hanako without her trying to be somewhere else. Turning from the window, I watch as she makes a simple pot of tea and arranges some sandwiches onto a plate. I've seen her do this before a number of times, but this time she seems slightly different. It's like she's calm. Eventually, she places the small tray on the table and pours 2 cups of tea. The fresh scent of brewed tea mingles with the breeze, and for a second I feel like I'm the only one in the world. I think I know why you like this room now. I don't know what you mean. Well, there are quite a few people out there, but in here it's like it's another world. You can pretend that there's no one around for miles. You're right. It's like the world has forgotten this room. And because of that, you can forget about the outside. That would be appealing in some cases. As far as I can tell, conventional bullying doesn't exist in the school. But then again, I haven't seen a single person talk to Hanako besides Lily. If you're ignored by the world, a place where you can forget its existence would hold a special appeal. We'll get into why she's like this eventually. It's a good point. It's like this room gives you some kind of complete freedom. Yeah. Say, do you play chess? Chess? I played it a bit, I guess. I take it you've played before? A little. Without saying anything more, Hanako moves to one of the cupboards and digs out a small chess set. Do you want? Sure, why not? I cut her off, but she doesn't seem to mind it. We arrange the pieces, and long before we are sending pawns charging to their inevitable fates. I take my time and intently examine each move and its consequences, nostalgia for the game taking second place to the matters at hand. For a time, the game is a lengthy battle of attrition, but I spot an opening and tear a line in her defense. A few moves later, her king is cornered by several of my pieces. Checkmate. You're not bad at this, are you? An honest appraisal. Her technique is pretty good, but several times I was able to exploit her lack of prediction. I pick up the piece and examine it. It looks relatively new, yet worn for its age. I guess not. Does Lily play? The absence of Hanako's answer causes me to think about my question. A bit. It's the first time I've played against someone other than her. Or? She cuts herself off abruptly, leaving the answer hanging in the air. Someone she knew before coming to Yumaku, maybe. Well then, I'm honored to have played against you. I think... Does that relate to the story she tells? I think it does. Did she play chess there? She probably did. Well then, I'm honored to have played against you. Can we play again? She asks as if she were asking me to cut off my own hands. The spirit of competition's gotten to her? Sure, don't expect me to go easy on you this time. Not that I was before, mind. She seems to appreciate the competitive tone. It's the same here. As we were setting up the pieces, there was a noise at the door. Good afternoon. Lily. Oh, hey there, Lily. Are you finished? You both are here? Wonderful. At any rate, your teacher managed to round up some extra help, so I was able to leave. Have you been here since you left? Pretty much. We've just been playing a bit of chess. Would you like a cup of tea? Actually, I think it may be a good idea to go outside for a little while. The instant drop in Hanako's face shows her objection to this plan, even though she just says nothing. I feel strangely compelled to voice what is plainly in view on her face, but Lily can't see. I kind of think we should just stay here. Really? It's so crowded here that I was thinking we should leave the school and head for the local tea house. You mean the Shanghai? Of course. With everyone at the festival, it should be practically empty. Empty. Well, it's empty pretty much all the time, so that's not the point, though. Tea house? Oh, that's right. You probably don't know of it. There's a tea house not far from here, which we go to every so often. Sounds like a plan, Hanako. What do you think? Hanako jumps a little at being forced into conversation, but at least she seems less distraught than before. If it's the Shanghai, I think it'll be nice. Well then, it's settled. Let's be on our way. Hanako and I rise from the table and our preemptive chess game. Before I can do anything, Hanako has poured the pieces into a small container and placed the board away. Looks like we're ready now. Please, lead on. Hanako moves to Lily's side and we venture onto the school corridors. The pair leads me through a series of unfamiliar doors and we emerge on the side of the building opposite of the festival grounds. Insulated by the heavy stone of the building, the noise from the crowd has faded to a murmur. Strange, I thought that most people would be beginning to leave by now. They're probably here to view the fireworks. Fireworks? Yes, apparently the school puts on quite a show. A lot of people come from town just to watch them. Lily's decision to leave the school ground seems to make sense now. Hanako would probably have a hard time with the whole town descending into the school. Or ascending, as the case may be. For the second time since arriving at Yamaku, I found myself walking down this road with Lily. Only now that I can barely hear the incessant noise of the festival did I realize how loud it was. I can hear my ears ringing slightly in the still evening air as they recover from the day's assault on them. Hanako clings to Lily, but still manages to guide her along the road. That, and avoiding the occasional gaze from curious pedestrians, appears to completely sap her constitution. She rarely raises her focus from the ground in front of her, nor does she utter a word. Lily, on the other hand, maintains her prim and proper persona just as she does in school. It's obvious she purposely puts effort into her appearance, rather than hiding it as Hanako does. It's striking how different they are in ways of holding themselves outside Yamaku's grounds. It's obvious in both their cases that they do visibly change. Inside Yamaku, everyone is special, which negates the specialness of it. But once we venture outside the school gates, we are returned to the status of outsider and generic labels. Especially when we're still in school uniform. It's like hanging a sign around your neck, challenging people to figure out what is wrong with you. I'm surprised that so many of the students keep it on. Then again, with canes and wheelchairs common among the students, I guess it's not really that much of a giveaway. Or maybe I'm the only one that sees this as a stigma. Maybe you get used to it after a time, like any other school uniform. The tea house seems fairly standard from the outside, just an ordinary building with typical signs decorating the entrance. Looks like the type of place you'd walk by without a thought, just another generic cafe in a sea of thousands. If Hanako hadn't steered Lily into the entrance, I would have continued down the road without ever knowing that it existed. Inside the tea house, it takes on a more traditional feel. Everything seems to have been made from the same lump of timber, from the counter and benches to the high-back booth around the walls. But the most striking feature of the room is the lack of life. I think I can faintly hear some bubbling away in the background, but otherwise the room is silent. Without any direction, we simply wait near the entrance, politely obeying the "Please wait to be seated" sign. Is this place closed or something? The sound of a chair falling over echoes throughout the empty room, and a head shoots up from inside a booth. I wasn't asleep, and welcome to Shanghai. Yuko, dressed in a passed-out apron, clutching a menu, rushes to greet us. Her misaligned glasses and ruffled hair cast suspicion on her previous statement. But whether she was asleep or not isn't the first question that leaps into my mind. You work here now? What happened to the library? What? Lily? Sal? Welcome to Shanghai. Yuko, still waking up, jerks into a violent bow, dislodging her glasses in the process. Ah, my glasses! I can't see without my glasses! As they pick up her spectacles off the floor, Lily offers an explanation. Yuko works here part-time as well as the library. It's one of the reasons we like to come here. Yuko takes her glasses from my hand, shakily putting them back on. Yes, that's right, thanks. Shall I show you your table? There's no one else here, so you can choose your table and order whatever you like, but there may be delays I will have to make myself. It's alright, Yuko. Just a pot of black tea and a plate of sandwiches will be fine. Right, I'll get right onto that. Yuko hurries out to the back of the cafe, leaving us still standing at the entrance. She pushes the swinging half doors open before realizing that she hasn't seated us. I'm sorry, please sit whenever you'd like. I'll be right back. Following her advice, I lead Lily to the nearest booth as Hanako follows. As I begin to sit next to Lily, I realize how appropriate this place is for Hanako. The high-back booth totally separates from the rest of the room, and it doesn't look like it gets that many customers. Oh, it doesn't. All of the furnishings, from the cushions on the benches to the condiment holders, look dated but aren't overly worn. Wonder if Lily deliberately selects places like this to take Hanako. She seems like the type that would go to lengths to cater to Hanako's unique predicament. So, Hisao, I didn't know you played chess. Well, not very well, but I do know how to play. I suppose the obvious question would be, who won? Lily's innocent smile makes me hesitate. I don't really want to look like I'm lording my victory over Hanako. Hisao did. Yes, but not by much. Damn. Saying that out loud makes me feel like I've done something terrible. Well done, Hisao. You've accomplished something I've only ever failed at. Thanks, I haven't played in ages, so it felt good to play again. Yes, it did. Hanako fidgets with her hair a little and looks away as she replies, but a small smile emerges. It's a little more extreme of a reaction than I expected, but it's still kind of cute in that Hanako way. It throws me a little off guard, and only Yuko's cataclysmic re-entry shocks me back into conversation. You alright there, Yuko? Do you need a hand? I'm fine. I have to do this properly, it's my job. Concentration plays across her face while she stares at the tray in her hands, as if simply looking at its contents will hold them in place. Sadly, this doesn't prove all that effective. The cups and saucers slowly dance around, occasionally clattering as they collide with one another. Taking great care, Yuko sets the tray down on the table with only the subtlest of crashes. There, see? Well done? Thank you, Yuko. Yuko's head rockets downward in the distinctive bow before answering. You're very welcome. Would you like to join us? There's something else I'd like to discuss about that recent order, if I may. Ah, that's right. Lily and Yuko were discussing a pile of books when I first met Hanako. Something about Lily helping with the Braille. Ah, yes. We didn't get the chance to go through them, did we? Yuko hastily sits down next to Hanako. Apparently her dedication to this job only goes as far as her concentration. Once it's broken, she suddenly loses it. I'll be in the library tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to try again. That sounds perfect. I'll meet you there after classes. Lily. Oh dear, that's right. Tomorrow's Monday. How could I have forgotten? I'm starting to feel a little left out of the loop here. Then again, that's to be expected. I've been here for barely a week, so it's impossible to know everyone's schedule. Well, perhaps we can come to some other arrangement. Yuko, will you be in the library later in the week? Maybe, but this is already overdue. And there are some things I need. This might be a problem. Lily ponders for a second before discovering the answer. I wonder, might we be able to enlist the help of another if need be? To do what? You lost me quite some time ago. Being volunteered for something without having even the slightest idea of what is going on isn't really my thing. And here I thought I had finally escaped the clutches of the student council and their repeated attempts to recruit me. Oh, of course. The other day I was helping Yuko sort the new Braille books in the library. But Hanako and I usually go shopping on Monday afternoon. It's quieter on that day than on the weekends. Last week I couldn't go because I was busy with the festival. I managed to slip away later in the week, but Hanako couldn't make it. Well, since I can't read Braille, I'm assuming you'd like to go shopping with Hanako? Correct. You were a great help to me the other day. I think I can handle that. Hanako, what do you think? If you wouldn't mind. Of course not. I'm still not familiar with all the stores in the area, so it sounds like a good idea. Okay. Now that we have that arranged, shall we have some tea? It's now that I realize our tea has been sidling idly by all this time, getting no hotter. It's my fault, let me pour that for you. Yuko reaches down with shaking hands, but I intercept her. She looks in no state to be handling hot liquids. It's alright, I got it. Since you've already made the tea and sandwiches, you fulfilled your waitress duties, right? I guess. Yuko relaxes a little, but still watches eagerly as I share out the assortment. As I'm about to bite into the sandwich, a low, loud rumble can be heard, along with a flash of light from outside. Fireworks. Ah, I take it the show has started. Only now, looking outside, I realize that dusk has come and gone, leaving us in the peak of twilight. Oh god, not twilight. Sparkling traces arc upward, ready to explode in the floral shapes of fireworks. Let's go watch. Oh, sorry, Lily. Oh, damn. Please, don't miss the show on my account. From what I've heard, this isn't a bad location to watch them from. With the exception of Lily, we rushed to the window of the small tea house to watch the show. The strobe of colored lamps plays across Hanako and Yuko's smiling faces, and for a second I forget to look out the window. In this totally new world, there are a few things that don't change. I think that's why the school makes such a fuss over this festival. It's a chance to show the similarities between everyone. The show is over all too quickly. Fireworks are expensive, even for the most well-funded schools. Before we return to our tea and sandwiches, Hanako turns to me. Thanks for today. And tomorrow. That's okay. I don't think I could have faced those crowds either. On days like this, it's more relaxing to spend some time away from everyone, don't you think? Yeah. Anyway, we've been delaying this tea for far too long now. Let's get back. Sure. We return to the booth in our light meal. That sounded impressive, bigger than last year's at least. Yeah, it was great. I've never seen them put on such a quite a show. Okay. It gets better every year. I'm afraid, however, during the time the tea has gone cold. Oh no, let me mix more. This is my fault. Calm down, Yuko. It's nobody's fault. I take a sip of my cup just to prove the point. This tea isn't too bad cool anyway. It's like an iced tea. Really? Yes, really. If you add a bit of sugar, it's kind of nice. Are you sure? I'm positive. Now, why don't you sit down and we'll finish this together? Okay. Yuko doesn't seem convinced, but sits down regardless. She carefully measures out 5 teaspoons of sugar and adds them to her tea. Or, I said a bit of sugar. I know, but I like my tea sweet anyway. Curiously, I peer into her cup. As expected, hardly any of the sugar dissolves in the cool liquid. She stirs it twice before upturning the cup and drinking the contents, sugar and all, in a single mouthful. You're right, that's not bad at all. Good. I look back to Lily and Hanako, both of whom have finished their meal as I witness Yuko's personality in action. Not wanting to hold anyone up, I use her tactic and finish the remainder of my tea in a single swill. Well then, seems we're all finished. Should we head back now, or do we want seconds? Yuko's expression shows that this is quite clearly not a good idea. I think it would be best if we got back soon. We do have to get back before curfew, after all. Oh, that is a good point. Reach you tomorrow, Yuko. I'll be looking forward to it, Lily. Goodbye, everyone. We make our way out of the small tea house and into the dark of the night. Lily and Hanako once again take point, but under the cover of darkness, Hanako seems slightly less stressed than she did on the trip here. We move against the occasional group of people emptying the school grounds, but Hanako seems to lead us along the few minor roads, avoiding the bulk of the crowd. Outside the dorms, the school seems strangely quiet when compared to the noise of the day. Well then, thank you both for today. I think I learned a lot. You're most welcome, but I'm afraid that I really must be going. Today's been a long day. That's right, Lily spent all of today on her feet, and I can imagine that walking outside the school would be pretty tiring for her. I feel a pang of guilt as I remember that I was probably the only one in the school that got up around 10 this morning. Sure thing. Well, I'll see you both tomorrow. Good night. Good night, Asao. Good night. The girls returned to their dorm, and I to mine. Actually, now that I consider it, today tired me out as well. Act 2. Hide and Seek. Now, unless that song was Jitter, I really need to keep up on the soundtrack, because that was pretty good music. So unless that was Jitter, I need to find out what that was. Probably listen to it after this part. My alarm blares into my ears, only to be swiftly silenced by my fist. A little rough, don't you think? Just slam your fist down on your alarm clock, okay? My body switches into auto mode, carrying my subconscious self out of bed and into my uniform. As always, my bottles of pills sit on my desk patiently, waiting for me to take them and pick out my daily dosage of medicine. 17 pills a day. Before I know it, I'm opening the door to Class 3-3, glad to see that I'm not the only one who seems to be a little hungover from festival week. Well, then... I don't remember alcohol. Nobody should be hungover. This is a high school. Damn, what happened? Is there something I don't know about? Something they didn't include in the text here? I have no idea. That's some good water. Every face in the classroom looks gaunt. With the festival now over, it's as if everyone's life dreams have been achieved. With nothing left to live for, the students have relied on instincts alone to guide them to class. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I slowly make my way to my seat, and it's only then that I realize why the room is so peaceful. The seats beside me are blissfully empty. The world's lattice and temperature for the deaf is yet to arrive. Just as I'm about to sit down, the door flies open, revealing a resplendent Misha, girls bobbing from the dramatic entrance and arms stretched toward the sky. Yahoo! It's all over! It would appear that not everyone is affected by the post-festival depression. Well, because Misha goes to sleep early. I wish she has plenty of energy for the next day to yell. The rest of the class glare at her, obviously thinking the same thing I am. Misha, still frozen in the door with her arms still in the air, nervously looks around. It's obvious she senses the foul mood, but can't work out exactly what to do. Suddenly, she jerks forward. Hey! As she stumbles into the classroom, she reveals she's in an arm still extended from where she shoved Misha. Thanks for the entertainment, but shouldn't you two take your seats? Still slightly embarrassed, Misha takes a few seconds to realize she has to translate. Oh yeah, Shi-chan said she's not happy with you ditching us last week. We were really busy. Is that so? What about all the stuff I already did for you two? She says that only counts for council members. Since you declined, she doesn't owe you anything. Well then. Misha leans closer and whispers conspiratorially into my ear. Actually, I think she's just a little sorry you didn't spend the day with her. She's really thankful for your work last week, though. Sensing she's being talked about, Shizune lightly wraps her fingers on her desk until Misha turns around to face her. I can't understand any of the fast-paced sounding that's going on, but from Shizune's slightly embarrassed expression and Misha's poorly contained laughter, I can guess. While this exchange is happening, the door opens once again, but this time at a much more reasonable pace. Hanako quietly enters the room and pulls the door closed behind her. Peering out from under her hair, she quickly scans the classroom. Our eyes meet, she suddenly stiffens. She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and then walks over to my desk. Good morning, Hisao. Morning, Hanako. You're a little late, aren't you? I was talking to Lily. About today. Ah, so you've got it. So you've got her list then? We can leave straight after classes in that case. Sure. Looking forward to it. Hanako briefly flashes her embarrassed smile at me, then hurries off to her seat. During classes, it becomes apparent that it's not only the students that are a little despondent after the festival. Muto simply gives us a list of exercises from the textbook and sits behind his desk. I totally forget about the brief lunch period for a moment, since it's the banality of the day. It's mind-numbing, and everyone seems surprised when the bells sing to the end of the lessons. As I'm packing up my bag, Shizune and Misha flank and trap me. Say, Hichan, it's still not too late to join up. There's a lot of post-festival paper work for us to complete. Sorry, Misha, I've got plans. As if sensing the cue, Hanako appears behind me, holding a small bag and trying to avoid contact with the outside world. Misha's eyes open wide and she bursts into laughter. Wah! You move fast, don't you, Hichan? We won't disturb your date any further. Wah! Behind the roaring Misha, I see Shizune taking far too little interest in the scene. I might be taking this the wrong way, but I think she's deliberately ignoring me. Well, after what you did, I can kind of understand. Besides, we've already gone down that path. You need not worry about her now. I sound like a dick, don't I? Damn it! I feel a gentle tug on my shirt and turn to see Hanako's eyes fixed firmly on the floor. Let's... Gotcha. Shizune, Misha, I'll see you later. I'm still not interested in the council. Spoil sport. Misha and Shizune retreat into the hallway, happily signing to each other. Got all your stuff? Let's head off. Floods of students pour out of the school gates and onto the road into town. It's a little weird. It's almost a scene from any other high school, but the illusion fades because of the occasional wheelchair or missing limb. One thing I do notice is that nobody's alone. And, as Hanako and I pass through the gates, I notice that she closes the distance between us. Not enough to be considered close, but she certainly isn't her usual just a little far position. I guess we're not familiar enough for her to get as close as she does with Lily. However, even though she's moved a little closer to me physically, mentally she seems to have traveled a mile. Her hands clutch around the leather straps of her bag to the point of whitening her knuckles, her head down and her math purse closed. She looks almost like she's being walked off to the principal's office for the first time. I try to stifle a giggle at the thought, but it's futile. What's the matter? I guess there's no point in hiding it. Sorry, for a second it looked like you were getting in trouble. What do you mean? I think you need to relax a little. We're not going too far. It's only students' run, right? Right. It bothers me a little to see Hanako so worked up. You do this every week, don't you? Yes, with Lily. Of course, with Lily. I wonder, has she ever left the school without her? Doesn't seem like much at first glance, but Hanako's dependence on Lily is absurdly heavy. If she can't even handle leaving the school without her, how could she have managed to survive if the two had never met? That's just the thing. Would she have found someone else to latch onto? And what drew her to Lily? Was it her lack of eyesight, or was Lily just kind enough to lend a hand? Probably a little bit of both. But I think I'm going to end the part off here, because I'm at 34 minutes. So, next time on Let's Play Katawa Shoujo, we will go shopping with Hanako. And probably other things. I don't know what they are. I don't remember all the events of this game. So I haven't played this in quite some time. But until next time, I'm Reckoning. You are the viewer. Drop me a like if you like this video. Drop me a favorite if you really like this video. Leave a comment telling me what I can do better. And until next time, keep on reading.